Hi, this is Vincent. Don't forget, if you like this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm getting to do a reaction of Candice Owens. Let's get it started.
For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable in this.
Well, it's not about turning criminals into victims. It's about cops breaking the law. You know, that's it.
Something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from black liberals and black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person, and as soon as this video hit the internet,
here we go again. It's not about whether somebody's an amazing person, whether they was a goody two-shoes or a bad person. Cops broke the law, and that's what we need to be focused on the fact that a person who's supposed to enforce the law breaks the law. So let's not deflect the situation.
I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George.
You don't want to talk about the cop. You don't want to put no emphasis on how the cop is corrupt, but you want to put emphasis on how Floyd is corrupt. Interesting.
George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl, and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to
high or not, whether a person is high on drugs or whether he's sober, if you're handcuffed, you are no threat. And he had his knee on his neck till he was dead. So, what kind of excuses are you coming up with?
Use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter. If you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd baggie, you can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now, barring all of that, nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest, but what I find despicable to be is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle when he didn't, and I want to talk about what his lifestyle...
No. It ain't about his lifestyle. It ain't about how he lived his life, okay? There's a lot of people in this world who makes bad decisions, and when you're a police officer and you make a decision to take somebody's life, that you're in no danger. This man is no threat to you. He's laid on the ground. He got his hands behind his back, and you put your knee on his neck until he no longer exists. That's a criminal act. It's a criminal act. Okay, it doesn't. All this is irrelevant that you're talking about. If he was a good or bad person, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, what kind of Samaritan are you?
Was leading up to this moment, and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr or should be lifted up in the black community, and that we should be buying t-shirts with his name on it. Okay, So here we have, first and foremost, let's start from the bottom of his record. And by
Okay,
the
here
way,
comes
I'm
the
not
facts.
saying that if you have a record, you don't deserve a second chance. I think people get arrested, and some people can serve time in prison, and I believe in second chances, but I do draw the line when it comes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances. 1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was the first prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months in prison for having less than 1 gram of cocaine on him again. In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant received a knock at the door, and she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was George Floyd, came up to the door, and they forced their way inside to her home, inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant. At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. She was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car of which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. Now, you can say the media is portraying it like he was just getting his life together after, being released in 2014 following that incident.
I know by mentioning these things, these are all horrible things. These are all horrible things. All right, but this is the reason why people go to jail. They go to jail for doing horrible things. But that doesn't give the police officer a slide. That doesn't give the police officer a slide where they could do all horrible things. They're a police officer. They're supposed to enforce the law. What's the part of that you are not understanding? They're supposed to enforce the law. They break the law. This is the reason why people are upset. Because throughout history, cops have broken the law. And they're supposed to enforce the law. This is not about somebody's behavior. You know what I'm saying? This is about a police officer breaking the law. Okay? This is not that he's not a vigilante where he can just go out and he's not Judge Dredd where he can just take the law into his own hands regardless of how you build the case. This is about a cop breaking the law. This is not about George Floyd. This is about a cop breaking the law. George Floyd is the victim of many victims. Get that through your head.
He was just getting his life together and moved and was going to start afresh. I'd like to believe all of those things, and there's a gap, and he never got in trouble for 5 years until this incident when the police were called on him again. But you are defying common sense to believe that this person suddenly became an exemplary character but happened to be high on fentanyl and methamphetamine and trying to use a fake bill to purchase something. And so in my opinion, George Floyd was a criminal. He was a criminal. And just because he was a criminal doesn't mean he deserved to die at the knee of a police officer. But it does mean...
Exactly. That's the whole point. Doesn't matter if he's a saint or a criminal. Okay? Cops have no right. He had no right to do what he did. Why can't you just focus on that? Why can't you focus on reforming cops and instead of bringing up this case about whether or not he was a good or a bad person or not? That's got nothing to do with the police officer's actions. He was way out of line. And there's been many of cops throughout history that was way out of line, and they got a slide. They got away with it. Maybe that's why there's not a big percentage of police officers. You know, there's no statistics on a humongous amount of cops doing things to black people, because a lot of the times they got away with things, right? And now it seems like you're making up excuses to a man's death. I mean, sheesh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if this happened to you, or this happened to your family members, how would you look at the situation? What if you had a family member, like you said yourself, you had family members that was in prison? What if it happened to them? Okay, it's just, you're ridiculous. Your whole argument is ridiculous.
Mean that I am not going to play a part of the broken black culture that always wants to martyr criminals, who wants to pretend they were these upstanding human beings that just wanted.
First of all, people gotta stop. Listen, my name is Vincent. Like, we all have names, okay? If you want to get to know somebody, get to know the name, get to know who they are. Stop using these broad statements like black people do this and black people do that. Okay? Somebody out there is gonna know, like, you're full of crap. I don't even do that. Stop using broad statements.
To help society, that just wanted to reach out and uplift society. And he has a rap sheet that is long, that is dangerous. He was an example of a violent criminal his entire life, okay? Up until the very last moment. Now, again, I want to be clear. This is not a defense for Derek Chauvin. No one that I have spoken to, no one in the news is defending Derek Chauvin. He is getting what he has coming to him. Okay, great. But why are we pretending that this criminal should be upheld as a citizen, as a martyr in black America? A martyr for a fake narrative, by the way. Police brutality, racially motivated police brutality is a myth, okay? So let's get into that. Now,
first of all, you just said that a cop went to jail, he's a bad guy, just what happened to George Floyd. You just seen what happened, and now you're telling me it's a myth. Are you insane?
are we using this death, right, and allowing it to cause these riots and protests, pretending this was some upstanding citizen in the black community who was tackled down and killed for no reason, right? Not only are we allowing it to inspire riots in which black people are dying, in which actual upstanding black citizens are dying. Case in point, I'm sure you guys have all now seen David, the sheriff that just was shot and killed because he was trying to protect a pawn shop. Please look him up if you haven't seen it. I'm blanking on his last name. His first name is David, who was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters. An upstanding citizen, an actual head of a police. He was the head of a police his entire life. 77 years old, did everything right. So we now have to kill upstanding black citizens because a non-upstanding black citizen, a career black criminal, died. Now, did he deserve to die in that manner? No. I can't say it enough. No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. But I will be damned if the rest of us upstanding black citizens have to suffer because of this incident that rarely ever happens in America. So here are some numbers for you.
How do you know it rarely happens? Are you monitoring America? Are you everywhere where every crime is taking place? Is every crime reported?
People that are still believing that police brutality is a real, racially motivated police brutality is a real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candice, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent, it matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right, black men, 6.
What are you justifying? Are you really trying to justify death right now? Who gets killed more? What's this? You got stop using broad statements. Okay? Stop using broad statements. The truth is, a man got killed by a police officer. That is wrong. Why can't you see that being killed by a cop, whether you be black or white, is wrong? Why can't you stay focused on the topic? Everybody's focused on the fact that there's cops that kill people and think they can get away with it. Why can't you stay focused on that? Instead of trying to use this, oh, black people do this, white people do this, black people do this, white people do this. Like, who cares? It's irrelevant. It's about a cop breaking the law when he's supposed to be enforcing the law. And a lot of times these cops will get away with it because of the color of their skin.
6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2018 statistics. That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation in a community where we are extreme minorities. We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population, okay? So we have a lot more encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder. 44% of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay? We commit, on average, a police officer...
Well, if these police officers are so afraid of black people, maybe they shouldn't bring their ass in maybe they shouldn't bring them... Maybe they should be policing the black communities. Maybe we should have a black people police a black community. If a cop is so afraid and shaky, he's going to shoot somebody just because he thinks he's a threat, because of a stereotype that you keep on talking about every time you say black people. We all have names, you know. We have names, okay? And when we go to court, they judge us by who we are. When you go to court, they're going to say you did the crime. They're not going to say black people did the crime. When you go get judged by God, they're not going to say, oh, what did all the 60%, 30% of black people do this? No, they're going to say you are a sinner. Okay? That's the most important thing is. Okay? You're getting off topic. The point is the cop committed a crime, and a lot of this has been going on for some time now. You know what I'm saying? And people get tired of that crap. And you can't understand that. You can't understand people getting tired of someone who thinks they have the authority to kill someone because he's got a badge. You don't understand the frustration. You don't understand what people are upset about. Of course you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? You think your money and your little fame can make you that's gonna like protect you from the discrimination, that all this success you have, or all the achievements you have, or you're calling yourself an upstanding human being and all this crap is gonna protect. That's not gonna change the fact that you're black, and that's the whole point. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. That cop saw a black person and then he killed that person. Illegally, he killed them, and it was against the law. A cop broke the law because of his stereotypical ignorance, the kind you're talking about right now, the kind you believe in, the stereotypes you believe in. You believe in that black people should get treated a certain way because giving me all these statistics about 20%, 30%. First of all, there ain't no. This is all crap. 30%, 20%. We are all individuals that make our own choices. There ain't no percentages of nothing. Percentage is crap. We are all individuals. We all make our own decisions. And right now you're making a decision to make a fool out of yourself.
Sir, is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. Okay? So this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus black because it's an election year, not because black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police...
How do you know that? It's like you make these statements like you're psychic or something. I don't know what's good. I'm from. We all come from certain cities, certain states. Trust me, I don't trust no statistics. Every crime is not reported. Okay, they can fix that. They can fix things to make it look like, oh well, these people are more likely to be criminals, or these people are upstanding citizens. There's black criminals. There's white criminals. I'm sure we can all agree that there's criminals in every single race. There's no such thing as a bad race. There's no such thing as a good race. You choose to be good and bad every day by making your own decisions. And when somebody makes the decision to break the law, I agree. All white people are not going to be racist and hate people. But there's a lot of people, a lot of individuals who make the decisions to be racist. Maybe you need to read a book. Maybe you need to learn about Martin Luther King. Maybe you need to learn about slavery. Maybe you need to learn about the history of America. Maybe you need to understand why people feel frustrated when they see another cop putting his knee on someone's neck until the person is dead. This ain't about his behavior and his past. You're trying to make a case to have people think in an ignorant way. You need to stay focused on a cop breaking the law. This individual broke the law, and this is the reason why people are upset. This is the reason why they're rioting. This is the reason why their voices that need to be heard, because it comes to a point where it's been going for so long that we are desensitized to the violence black people go through. I don't care if you're poor, I don't care if you're rich, I don't care about status, I don't care if you're an upstanding citizen. Morals is not based on having a good reputation. Morals is about love, it's about forgiveness, it's about kindness, it's about caring about people. Okay? And yeah, you're right. He had he did a lot of bad things. But that doesn't change the fact that a cop is supposed to be enforcing the law. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the right to do what he did. And just stay focused on that. And stop you're the one turning this into a black and white thing. A cop broke the law. And the cops have a history of breaking the law. There's cops that have a history of breaking the law. So focus on that and stop trying to manipulate people with black people do most of the crime and white people do less crime and all that crap. Focus on a cop breaking the law.
Police officers do the wrong thing, yes. I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping, whether you are black or white. We know they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes human beings suck. In fact, if you want to attack a community for accidental slayings or brutality, did you know that doctors accidentally kill 250,000 people every year because...
Like I said, doctors do not enforce the law. Cops enforce the law. Stop trying to twist things around. Don't you know statistics that these people do this and that these people do that? I don't care what other people do. Focus on the fact that a police officer broke the law when he's supposed to be enforcing the law. Stop trying to manipulate people.
The mistakes. Do you know that there's been doctors that have been arrested for being serial killers that just were killing people because they wanted to? Do we protest and boycott doctors? Do we assume all doctors are horrible human beings because some doctors are? Or do we realize that society is not perfectible? People suck in every profession. It is no excuse to paint society with a broad brush. It is certainly no excuse to accept a Democrat narrative, okay, that black people are being disproportionately hunted down by police officers because of the color of their skin. You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have with them, especially when it comes to violent crimes. Okay, I am not going to stand for this continual bottom-feeding narrative of us martyring people that have had 5, 6, 7 stints in prison and then pretending they were upstanding heroes to our community. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
What you're saying is bullshit, because you're missing the point. All right, you're creating an argument that you're missing the point. Cop broke the law. Get that through your little pea brain head.
Excuse my language. It's absolute bullshit, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to play pretend. I'm tired.
Well, if you're tired, go to bed and shut up.
Of sitting here and being called a coon or an Uncle Tom because I won't play this bottom-feeding game with you. If you want to hang up posters of criminals on your wall and talk about them as your martyrs, do it. Do it. You can do it. Kobe Bryant was my idol. Okay, I'll keep a photo of Kobe Bryant. You can keep one of George Floyd and pretend he was an upstanding human being that just once or twice put a gun across a pregnant woman's belly. Could you imagine that woman right now? That black woman, by the way. Right? Watching everybody pretend this person was an upstanding human being who just at the age of 42 and 5 prison stints was going to...
You know, this is interesting. You said, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to pretend he's a good person. I'm not going to pretend this George, he's an upstanding human being. Well, you sure do like to pretend Donald Trump is an upstanding human being. And everybody tell you he's full of crap. White people, everybody will tell you Donald Trump is full of crap. But you like to pretend he's an upstanding human being. You like to pretend he's got our best interest at heart, don't you?
Get his life together. I mean, it's embarrassing. We are embarrassing in that regard, right? This is why we have a cycle and a toxic culture, because nobody wants to tell the truth in Black America. It's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to ask white people to bow down and apologize and do all these things for us. It's crap. It's crap. It's a lie. It's a farce. Our biggest problem is us, okay? It's why we don't talk about...
Our biggest problem is us? That's amazing. This is a black person saying this.
When black on black crime happens. It's why we don't talk about it when 40 black people are killed in one weekend during Memorial Weekend in Chicago. We don't want to talk about any of that stuff. We don't want to talk about...
Let me ask you a question. See, this is the ignorance that I'm talking about. You said 40 black people kill or whatever. Did they kill because they made a bad choice, or did they kill because they're black? Okay, it's not about black. It's not about white. It's not about what you look like, your appearance. It's not. This is not about being superficial. This is about choices. A cop made the choice to kill someone that wasn't a threat. This is not about, the cop, he's bad and he got arrested, but I'm not going to make this guy out to be a hero, and it ain't about being no hero, it ain't about being no villain. It's about choices. A cop made the choice to break the law. And this is the reason where this is where all the frustration comes from, because we're tired of, people who have this power and have this authority to police people, but they're killing people. They're no different from a thug or a criminal. I don't care if you got a badge on. What makes the cop better than any other criminal? What makes him? Because he's got a badge. Okay. Choices are choices. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you make the choices to break the law, to be ignorant and take your ignorance into action, like you're doing right now, talking about a deceased man, I might add. You know what I mean? People are gonna hold your feet to the fire, and they're gonna ask you. They're gonna challenge you on these thoughts you have.
Baltimore, you don't want to talk about New Jersey, you don't want to talk about any of these places where black people are being slaughtered by other blacks, because that would mean that we had to be personally accountable, right? That would mean personal responsibility. We don't do personal responsibility.
We have to be accountable. What do you mean we have to be accountable? I got a clean record. I don't have to be accountable for nothing. But I do look out for those who, I do fight for those who can't defend themselves. And George Floyd, regardless of his past or what kind of bad decisions he made, these cops were bullies. And they used their badge and their gun and their authority. They abused their power. They broke the law. And that's what I'm focused on. That's what everybody else is focused on. They're focused on, the cops are here supposed to make us safe. We're supposed to be safe when we're around the cops. But because they think like people like Donald Trump and Candice Owens, that my life is in danger. My life is I can just lay here with my handcuffs. I can be handcuffed and laid on my back, and somebody's got their knee on my neck, and they can put it there until they kill me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You keep deflecting and trying to make him look like the bad. And this got nothing to do with it. It's about a cop breaking the law. You know what I mean? Focus on that.
In our community, we don't do it. We blame white people. Right? We only point a camera to white people when they do something, even though we do it at a way higher rate to ourselves, right? We celebrate our drug dealers.
What do you mean at a higher rate? See, this is the rhetoric and racist rants that I'm talking about. How can you do more crime? What, like I told you, I got a clean record. I should feel guilty because somebody else does a crime who just happens to have the same skin tone I have? No. I don't judge people based on the color of their skin, which you do. You know, you like to think all white people are innocent. That's why you're defending, that's why you're even making this video, because you want to defend, you got this beef with black people, you know what I'm saying? And then you saying, oh, you got this excuses for, you know, this corrupt white people. It's like, I don't understand. I'm not saying all white people are corrupt, but for the ones that are, how can you make up excuses for these people? How can you not understand why people are frustrated when they hear about a cop killing a human being, period? Taking a life. You know, you're supposed to be enforcing the law and you're taking a life. How can you not understand people's frustrations? How can you turn it into, oh, we're turning them into a hero, we're turning them into a martyr, we're turning them into this, we're. There's no weed, you know what I mean? There's no weed doing anything. You know what I mean? We are all individuals that make our own decisions. Like I said in this video already, when I go to court and I break the law, if I break the law and I go to court, you know, if I go to court and I break the law, they're going to judge me by my actions. They're not going to say, 30%, 40%. They're not going to bring in statistics when they plead in my case. They're going to judge me based on my actions. And that's what it's all about. The guy who killed the guy wasn't a doctor, wasn't some citizens or civilian. He was a police officer that was supposed to uphold the law. And he broke the law. He took a life. And instead of having some kind of compassion for the people, for the person who got killed, I'm not going to support this person because he has a bad past. Well, that's ridiculous. That shows that you really don't have any morals at all. The fact that you won't support, it's like you have no morals. You don't know what right and wrong is. You don't know what good is. You don't know what it is to be a good person. I support anybody, whether they be black, white, whatever type of race they are. If they get harmed unjustly, I'm going to support them. I don't care about their past. I'm going to fight against corruption. And there ain't nothing you can tell me that's going to justify a cop killing somebody for no reason.
The only community, right, that would ever create hashtags to free people from prison because they committed crimes, like free Meek Mill, free this rapper, free this rapper. How hard is it to not spend multiple times in prison? How difficult is that? Is that too hard for us? Is that...
You named a few guys, and then you go right and say us. What do you mean us? I just told you I have a clean record. I never been to prison. So you talk about, you say this guy went to jail, that guy went to jail, and then next thing, the next thing that comes out of your mouth is us. Are you in jail right now? Are you breaking the law? Are you black? The hell is wrong with you?
Way too high of a mountain for us to scale, to do the right thing, to be upstanding citizens? That is the call to action that I have for Black America with Brexit. Like, why do we keep fulfilling this narrative? What do you think the perception of us, by the way, is on the outside? You ever look at the comments? You ever go into like an anonymous blog and see what people say? Oh, just black people being black people. I see those racist comments. Oh, just black people got to riot. Black people got to be black people. You know how they are. Oh, just black people being ignorant. That is the perception. When people get to be anonymous and talk about us, that's what they think about us, right? They think that we are the kind of people that will forever uphold criminals as the...
You're just proving my point. First you judge people based on the color of their skin, and now you're trying to get upset because people are judging people based on the color of their skin. Well, maybe because people like you make videos like this, and that's why they're saying black people doing this, black people doing that. You know, you can't help. Black people got problems. You know how they are. Maybe they think like that because people like you make videos like this.
Martyrs of our society, that we will never take account for the things that we do wrong, right? That we don't have it within us to educate ourselves to get ahead, and that for those of us that actually do it, well, we get called coons, right?
Doesn't make any sense. You just we us black people, and then you're gonna turn around and say, well, the black people that don't do it are called coons. What are you talking about? You're proving how are you gonna say that black people are responsible for what rioting and this and that? As far as last time I checked, there was a lot of people. The whole world's rioting right now. Okay, the whole world understands something that you don't, Candice. They understand that a cop broke the law. They understand that we live in a corrupt system. They understand that. They understand that people make policies and laws to hold people down. They understand that. They understand that laws can be made to, instead of breaking a law, they can make a law that hurts people. You don't have to break the law to hurt somebody. You can make a law to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you want to believe that all black people think a certain way, or they believe a certain way, act a certain way. But the only people that don't act like that is the people like you. You know, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And you keep saying black people this, black people that. You need to look in the mirror, because you ain't white. Candice, you are not white. And you are never going to be white unless you bleach your skin, but you still got those features. Unless you get some plastic surgery, you are not white, and you will never be white. You can think like a racist person all you want to, but as long as they're judging you based on the fact that you're black, you're going to be judged, Candice, no matter how much booty you kiss.
You got Condoleezza Rice, she's a coon. Larry Elder, he's a coon. Dr. Ben Carson, brain surgeon, first ever to perform the surgery of splitting twins that are connected by the head. He's a coon, right? What a loser he is. What a stupid guy he is. Kanye West says he's not going to be told.
I don't. This is not. You're coming up with achievements. How much? This goes back to the whole ignorant stuff about how much money a person got or how much a person achieved in life. You know, these are people. You need to stop staying focused on. See, this is the problem with society. People want to focus on their achievements. You know what I mean? Focus on, you know what I'm saying, how you behave towards others, how you treat others. Okay? You should not be nobody's going to kiss your butt because you accomplished this and you accomplished that. I know a lot of people do, but there's a lot of people who won't. We're not going to kiss your butt because you accomplished things. You know what I mean? And this, it's just focus on the facts. I know you like to give your opinions, and I don't want to I can't deal with this crap about black people doing this, black people doing that. It's interesting. You can deal with a lot of crap from Donald Trump. You can deal with him saying this, you can deal with him saying that, you can deal with him saying and doing a lot of things. Grab them by the crotch, talking about women, grabbing women by the crotch. Remember that? You can deal with that. There's a lot. You let Donald Trump slide on a lot of things. But there's one little difference between Donald Trump and black people. He's white. He's white. That's why you can come up with all kinds of excuses. You can say all white people don't do this, but then when a black person does something, you say us and we and all this crap.
Do because of the color of his skin. He's a coon. He's lost. He's in the sunken place. That's where we all are, right? Because we demand more and we will get more out of this society because we're going to get ahead, right? That's what's going to happen. We're going to get ahead.
How are you getting ahead? Seems like you're going backwards. How are you getting ahead? How is ignorance getting ahead in life? It seems like you're going backwards. You're going back to the days of Yessa Massa and all of that crap.
Black conservatives get ahead because we don't subscribe to this narrative. Because you're not going to catch me outside trying to grab a TV pretending that it's because a martyr named George Floyd got killed. Okay? I'm a big believer that no matter what color you are, you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. Okay?
Okay. Now, you say that, but is it true, Candice? Because you buddy with Donald Trump. So I don't think what you're saying is true. You're making a statement that is not true. Look at how many things Donald Trump has done. You know what I mean? You're saying something that's not true. You say no matter what color you are, if you do stupid things, you're telling me Donald Trump is a genius? Trust me, he done a lot of stupid things. He said a lot of stupid things, and I don't see this. You don't have the same, distaste for Donald Trump when he says stupid things, when he does stupid things. You don't address it. You don't say, why did Donald Trump say this? Why did Donald Trump say that? You don't address it. You seem to only address things that involves the black community. Why? Because you're black? You think you know every black person? You think you've been around every black person? You think you know us all? Because you don't know me. But I see fake people on TV all the time, and we know you.
We have to do better. We have to teach our kids better, or we're not going to get ahead, right? Anyways, this is just a rant because I have been feeling super annoyed at these depictions in society. I have no apologies here to make. George Floyd is not my martyr. He can be yours.
Ridiculous. Well, everybody's going to have their own opinions or something, but that's just ridiculous. I mean, how can you just focus on skin color all day? How are you going to get things solved in America? This is the reason why we have this problem. It's stereotypes. It's looking at black people as not like as a color, not as a human being. Not seeing this man as a human being, like he didn't deserve that. I'm not saying he had the greatest reputation. I'm saying he didn't deserve what happened to him. That's what people are upset about. Because it can happen to anybody. If it happened to him because he's a black person, trust me, it can happen to any black person. And this is something that Candice is not understanding. She thinks you gotta have good behavior, and then everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be living in a paradise. No. There's a lot of people throughout history had good behavior, didn't do nothing wrong, but they had to deal with this kind of brutality because they were black. A lot of people had good behavior and didn't do nothing wrong, and they had to deal with this kind of brutality because they're black. And this is something Candice doesn't understand. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. I've seen police officers swing at cops and still didn't deal with this kind of brutality. You know what I'm saying? They're judging you based on the color of your skin. And she's using the same rhetoric to make her point. And it's sad that black people would look at black people in such a dark way, like it's such a look down on you. no encouragement. They don't care about you. They're not trying to understand you. They're not trying to see things from your point of view. They're not understand why people are upset because a black man got killed by a cop and he didn't deserve it. He was no threat or nothing, and she doesn't understand that. She's so frustrated that she doesn't understand. You know, she just can't relate. You know what I'm saying? She says, I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative. What's that got to do with anything? Labels. This is a human being. It doesn't matter if it's a white person. It happened to a white person. It doesn't matter if it happens to a black person. You know what I mean? Good people can see right and wrong. Good people have discernment. You know what I mean? If this happened to a white person, it should be the same reaction. If this happened to a Hispanic person, Chinese person, Japanese person, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what country you come from, doesn't matter your history or what you've done with your life. If corrupt things like this happen to you, we should react the exact same way, and not look at life as oh well, you know, that's a black person, so you know maybe he deserved it, or some kind of try to justify it or something. No. Respect everybody, and that's what makes the better world a better place. Not blaming a race and saying and try to justify a man's death. You know what I'm saying? This video is just it's retarded. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't understand. Like, why would you like? I don't understand how money can be that important. Money is so important than human being, than human life. It's just ridiculous. Just, you know what I'm saying? But you know, this ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And we have to deal with ignorance. But at the same time, we got to confront it. We got to address it. We got to make our points. Our voices got to be heard too. Not just the Candice Owens or the Thomas Souls or whoever out there. Our voices got to be heard too. Because this has been going on in the poor communities for some time now. And their voices need to be heard. So, but anyway, just like, I know, like, there's a lot of people out there get upset about what Candice Owens said, but you know what I'm saying? You know, focus on, you know, solutions for the people that go through these things, and don't be just some kind of, like, you know, an adversary for an idiot. You know what I mean? And focus on the solution for people, and don't focus on being an adversary for an idiot. Because all she's doing is just trying to waste time and deflect and manipulate, and she's so full of crap, it's not even funny. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and share this video.